want to live a life on fire and on mission. You want to be filled with such conviction and drive that you stop caring about what anyone thinks. You want to face each day alive, authentic, and fully present in every moment. With your wife, with your kids, on the street, at work. You want to bring yourself to the table and to stop bringing the watered down, nice, what everyone wants version of you. You want that self to be a man who is burning in passion for Jesus, unafraid to bring his kingdom to anyone in your path, no matter what it costs you. You want to love the one in front of you without fear, without needing love back, and without reserve. You want to husband well. You want to father well. You want to shepherd your life well. You want to be a safe pillar for anybody around you. You want to experience God for real, to not just believe, but to know that he's got you and that he'll show up on your behalf, that he'll show up through you. You want to get to the end of your race and say, yep, I gave it everything. Jesus, you know I'm all in. And you want to know just how to get there. Welcome to Man Warrior King. I'm your host, Matt Halleck. Congratulations. You're among the violent taking the kingdom by force. You're among the chosen answering the call to rise above yourself. You're in the forge being stripped down and strengthened, and you will rise stronger, solid, unshakable. You are a man. You're a warrior. You are a king. Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning. This is Matt Halleck with another episode of the Man Warrior King podcast. I am so honored to be able to come to you guys this morning with just having become a father for the third time. And yes, I am super honored because this was my third daughter. So I am a man who is overseeing his household of 3 little princesses of the kingdom and my queen, my fierce warrior queen of the kingdom as well. And I've been thinking over the last 24 hours since our baby girl was born about how honored I am also to have experienced real life transformation. When we first started having kids, our oldest, so now almost 10 years ago, I was a vastly different man. I was so different than who I am today. And I approached our life at that point with our new daughter from this position of extreme selfishness. I remember feeling afraid that my daughter was going to steal my wife from me. I remember feeling afraid that I was no longer going to get the best of her. That's not how a man is supposed to run his family. In fear and selfishness. Now, I do believe strongly that you can stand up and assert your needs. You can stand up and assert the things that you desire. But see, for me, the problem at that time was that I didn't have the guts. I didn't have the courage, the confidence to actually do that, to actually stand up and say, hey, in the middle of where we're at in life, this is what I need right now. Or I would like this thing to happen. I am feeling far. I need to feel connected, whatever. I would operate with this unspoken. A lot of people talk about this thing, the tendency to live life with unspoken contracts, where you are behaving a certain way, where you feel like I'm doing I'm being a good man. I'm being a good husband. I'm being a good dad, whatever. I'm being a good employee. I'm being a good churchgoer. I'm being whatever. And so because I'm doing this type of behavior, I deserve for you to treat me this way, but I'm not going to actually tell you what I want or what I need. I'm going to continue to behave well and silently expect you to reward me for it. And while I used to live that way, thinking that it was humility, thinking that it was kingdom unselfishness, that Jesus would have me operate that way, it was actually a lot of selfishness. It was actually pride, self-absorption. It was actually manipulation, because all of my behaving was in order to get a desired outcome that I was not being forthright about. So when we first started having kids, that's how I was. And man, I hurt my wife so bad. Because instead of being a man who was driven by and focused on his God-given mission to conquer the world and take care of his family, I was a man who was consumed by and focused on what it is that I still needed and wanted now that our world had been added to. So my daughter, and even my second daughter, felt like a threat to me, even though also at the same time I did love her and I was her dad and I treated her that way. But deep inside, underneath it, there is this underlying feeling of being threatened. And my goodness, guys, that is so wrong. And I wish I hadn't wasted that time. Because, quite frankly, I had and I have a bigger mission, a bigger purpose. And we, gentlemen, have a bigger mission and a bigger purpose than simply being selfish and still wanting to get what we can out of whoever. I'm talking about marriage because it was just my daughter who was just born. So we have a bigger mission, a bigger purpose than getting what we can out of our wives. And our mission and our purpose is to pursue Jesus at all costs, to secure our families at all costs, to love at all costs, not from a place of neediness, but from a place of strength. And now this time, with this third daughter being born, I am so thankful that Jesus has transformed me now. My drive, she was born at 11 a.m. yesterday, and as invested and present and involved and loving in the whole process as I am still and was. What was on my mind once she was born and taken care of and everybody was good was, okay, I need to get back on mission here because I have a family to secure. So what was on my mind was, now that everybody is taken care of, let me, as the man of the house, get back to the job at hand, because I'm sorry, gentlemen, the war does not end because a baby is born. The battle does not end because a daughter is brought into the house. In fact, the battle cranks up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 notches because now I have another life under my protection, under my leadership, under my command. And Jesus has transformed me to the point where now I can actually live from a place of strength to cover and protect, and not out of a place of neediness. And he says, if you seek to save your life, you will lose it. But if you lose your life for my sake, you will find it. And I'm thankful that he's working that into me more and more all the time. So here I am the day after my baby was born, early in the morning, recording my next podcast episode, because this is my mission. And God has spoken to me. He has said, Matt, you will secure your family. This is how you are going to provide for them, by serving the men of my kingdom, by serving the men in my church, by helping to awaken them. So, gentlemen, this morning I'm asking you, how are you doing with this? Do you need to wake up? Do you need to come alive in a way that is living beyond just how can I make sure that I still get mine in the middle of this? And are you able to live connected to the mission of Jesus, to what he has for you? You know, when we think of King Saul, we don't think of a good Bible hero. We think of a man who blew it, who lost his rule, basically, and he died as punishment. God took his life because Saul conducted himself in such a gnarly way. And he was consumed over and over again with his selfishness. And oh no, David's getting all the attention. David is getting all of the praise. People are writing songs saying that David has killed Saul has killed his thousands, but David is tens of thousands. And he started letting jealousy sink in, and he thought, I'm not getting mine. And there's times in his life where it's clear that he was upset and distraught because men weren't following him, because he wasn't getting the right attention that he wanted. He wasn't concerned with how men and the kingdom were following God. And he was always wanting to seek Samuel in order to get a favorable word for himself. And you know what? As soon as Samuel died, his loyalty was not to the Father, was not to God, because he didn't establish a relationship, a history with God. He didn't establish a pattern in his life of going after the Father, of going after the presence, of loving the presence. He established this pattern of going after Samuel to get what he needed from Samuel. And so when Samuel died, it wasn't about honor. It wasn't about continuing on his God-given mission in the kingdom. It was about, shoot, my source of life is gone. So I'm going to go find a medium, somebody who can conjure up the dead so I can still talk to Samuel, because I'm not going to talk with God. How selfish is that? But you guys, as men, we live this way. And I'm sorry to say it, but we do. We live like Saul. And we seek a favorable word so that we can feel better about ourselves. And we're always focused on how, if we're not getting the attention that we need, if we're not getting the favor that we want, But you guys, it's time that we stop living like Saul. And yeah, I know David, he majorly blew it. Maybe even like this one sin with Bathsheba and then sentencing her dad, or I'm sorry, her husband to death because he wanted her for himself. That was awful. And that was a bigger sin than I can find really in Saul's life. But the difference is that David had a heart that wanted God. And when he blew it, he didn't go look for somebody to make him feel better outside of the Father's presence. He went and he repented and he poured himself out before God because he was a man of principle who knew that his life was found in God and not in anything less. And so he was a man after God's own heart, even in the middle of his sin, because he was driven to his presence. And so the transformation that I have gone through, gentlemen, from my first daughter being born to now my third daughter being born is massive. It's huge, and I'm so thankful for it. Because now I have become more a man of principle who can get on mission. And I'm excited that my daughter's here, and I don't feel a threat coming. Because I'm not finding my identity in what I'm getting or not getting from my wife. I'm finding my identity in the man that I am being in the presence of Jesus. I'm finding my identity in the kingdom, not in my wife anymore. It's not all about what I am getting or not getting from her. It's about who am I being for her sake? Who am I being for the sake of my children? Who am I being as a man of identity in the kingdom, as a son? And from that place, I can live according to principle. I can live according to mission. And now I'm actually able to earn the heart of the people around me. Gentlemen, I'm able to live in a way where it's all about Jesus. And yeah, I've got the things in life that are threatening right now. But it is all about Jesus. It's all about finding him. It's all about finding his mission. It's all about seeking his presence. And last night, I went outside in my yard to exercise, as I often do. And I was so overtaken in worship that I was dancing around my yard in the dark in worship with my earphones in, silently singing. It was the weirdest thing. I'm opening up, being vulnerable here. I was singing as loud as I could without using my voice. So I was mouthing all the words and like worshiping with my arms swinging, my hands held high. And I wanted the presence of Jesus. I want her. I want him in the middle of my new daughter being born. I want Jesus. And I want to be a man who secures my family, who walks in strength. So, gentlemen, I feel like this morning is a bit of rambling, my thoughts just on being a new dad. Hopefully there was something there for you. I'm not sure whether there was or not, but I want to invite you, if there's something that you are needing, if there's something on your mind, if there's something that you are struggling with, that you are going through, I want you to send me an email with the subject line, Man Warrior King Podcast, prayer request. And I want you to just say what it is that you need prayer for. And I will pray for you. Because we're in this together. And as a reminder, you can find me on Instagram, Man Warrior King. You can find me on Facebook, Man Warrior King. If you head to manwarriorking.com, you can join our email community. I'm building more community as we speak, gentlemen. This is just the beginning. We are going to build a community of video calls. We are going to do a group program where you guys are going to be transformed and set on fire for Jesus. And you're going to be able to live above the norm. You're going to be able to break out of passivity and people pleasing, especially with your wives and with your kids. You're going to be able to bust into confidence and strength. You're going to be able to live in a way that you are proud of, that captures the hearts of your family rather than grabs at them all the time. And remember, there is my book, The DNA of a Man, that just came out. Feel free to go find that on Amazon or get in touch with me. I'm happy to give you a few free chapters. But do email me, Matt, M-A-T-T, at manwarriorking.com. Tell me what you need prayer for. Tell me how you need transformation. Tell me the things that are dogging you, and I will join with you in prayer. All right, gentlemen, love you. It's another episode of Man Warrior King. I'll talk to you later. This is Matt Halleck signing off and thanking you again for being a part of the Man Warrior King community. If you want more, head over to manwarriorking.com. And please remember to take just a couple seconds to subscribe on iTunes and to leave a 5-star rating and a review so that more and more men can join us as we become awesome. You are a kingdom man. Go out, take more ground, push back darkness. Remember, you bring value into your home, your work, and your circle. You are not a taker, you are a giver. Abundance is your atmosphere.